Karli Zschogner, CBC News, Inuvik.
Karli Zschogner, APTN National News.
Call it up! We are traditional spirit!
He agreed to take APTN investigates around the community to some of the areas where Frank was last seen.
With more on the story, we are joined now by Karli Zschogner. Karli, what are we going to see on APTN Investigates this week?
Yes, so we are delving into the disappearance of Frank Rubin, who is a Gwich'in and Inuvialuit man from Aklavik in the Western Arctic. He went to school in Fort Smith and he disappeared, and it's been 8 months and people don't have answers. And the police keep saying there is no signs of foul play, but we also don't have missing persons legislation. So we delve into that and then what is the call for that?
Mr. Speaker, where's Frank? I'm going to ask you again, where's Frank Rubin? Where is this case now with the RCMP, and what are they doing next to try to bring Frank home to his mother?
As I stated, it still is an open investigation. If there's new information that comes to light, then the RCMP can use that and take further steps. So I reiterate the members' comments. If you know something, please come forward.
Short season is my favorite time of the year because that gives us more access to Inuvik. It's easier for people to drive in and out, and you're not waiting on weather for planes.
Aklavik's Mina McLeod is involved in many community boards. She makes things happen in the Western Arctic community of just over 500. She's also manager of her family's contracting business, which creates the winter-spring vein of transport.
We construct and maintain the ice road from Aklavik to Inuvik. We also maintain the runway for the airport and water delivery.
However, her and her community are living with the impacts of delays in accessing that vein from climate warming. It's Ramadan, and Inuvik's community members meet together in the evening to break their fast for the day with a feast. Abdallah Muhammad has lived in Inuvik 32 years. He was the main organizer to fundraise and have the mosque travel to Inuvik. He remembers the work it took to bring it up north and what it means for the Muslim community.
The book, it's really nice. It's just add more element to how diverse Canada is and how rich in culture and how far these culture are. And you wouldn't imagine 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or 15 years ago to find a mosque here until we took that initiative.
There was a picture taken like this.
Why is airplanes important in this region, in the Arctic?
Because there's like a lot of water, and since there's a lot of ice and snow that can block up the roads, you need like planes to get to places.
Freddie lives near Inuvik. He'll be 89 in May. Park Gwich'in, Freddie grew up in the bush and in Aklavik. With little education, he earned his pilot's license in 1955 when he was 20. He went on to establish a few businesses of his own, including a flying service to help manage caribou herds.
This is all reindeer, eh?
Yeah.
This happened on Shell Lake.
Freddie's wife, Mickey, has been with him along this journey.
This is kind of cool, though. Fred was written up in Time magazine, the same one with the man on the moon back in July 1969. How cool is that?
Over the decades, Freddie has been awarded the Order of Canada and is part of Canada's Aviation Hall of Fame. He also has an honorary Doctor of Laws from the University of Saskatchewan. Published in October, a Canadian author and an Inuvialuit artist originally from the Arctic region partnered with Freddie in creating a children's book, which includes both Gwich'in and Inuvialuitan languages.
This is the Dolly Parton. We just got it yesterday.
As it's one of the few restaurants that is now able to serve and sell some country food. Part of a national and international Indigenous effort in taking leadership in solving food insecurity, economy, and healing. Karli Zschogner has the story.
Muskox is super healthy, packed with vitamins and proteins and all sorts of nutrients
That's Inuvialuit cook Joel Amos for the first time being able to cook and sell muskox, wild game from the Arctic Beaufort Sea region.
I grew up in Sax Harbor for the first 10 years of my life, so I'm very accustomed to eating muskox. It's sort of like beef in the fact that it has marble in it.
Katrina Cockney was near tears recounting her first beluga hunt and her first beluga.
So I've always helped my family prepare the whale, but I've always wanted to experience it for myself.
In Inuvik, Laska Nersu first walked into the Inuvik Innovate Center last July, winning a membership to the space. Memberships normally cost $75 to $150 per month, depending on whether it's for commercial or as a hobby. Nersu says the space, the people, and the technology have taken her skills and the business to a whole new level.
And then I've just been glued here ever since.
As hockey is for winter, baseball is a staple for the Mackenzie River Beaufort Delta region summer, with tournaments from June to the end of August. Going to the September Labor Day weekend Dawson tournament, for many, is the last hurrah before the snow comes. Winning last year as the first team from the NWT, the Berry Pickers brought in a Yellowknife evacuee, originally from the Arctic Ocean coast of Tuktoyaktuk.
Yeah, I play in Yellowknife because I'm a evacuee.
These massive wind turbine blades are nearly the size of a football field. The first of the parts making up the Inuvik wind turbine has been arriving this week.
Going anywhere just yet. It'll be stored here at Inuvik's Marine Transport Services Terminal as the project figures out the added costs and delays,
including getting the roads ready to transport it to the destination 12 kilometers down the Dempster Highway and then another 5 kilometers up a winding road they are building to the installation site.
Would you like to get out on the land more often?
Yes, I do.
And what do you need to help you get out on the land as often as you'd like?
More transportation.
19-year-old Olivia Sidney is one of the 7 local Inuvialuit and 2 Gwich'in field workers assisting those volunteering and randomly selected to participate in a national Inuit health survey called Chanupita, which means How Are We in Inuktitut. Juno Award-winning Two-Spirit Anishinaabe Métis musician G.R. Grit also joined the town march in between school workshops and performances.
The traditional ways that are hidden away can be revived by the beat of a drum.
Bringing youth together so that they can meet other people like them and to make those connections, like, that's life-saving stuff. You just saved a bunch of lives today. I use they/them pronouns. It's what feels the best to hear. There are definitely times in my life where I had to keep that hidden for a long time. I was in my 20s before I was able to have my first kind of coming out. Just because I'm from a small town and I just saw how people treated people if they even thought they were gay. So much celebration and acknowledgement and validation and making sure that people feel loved because there's been the absence of love, absence and also the presence of hate.
The Naotkamegwanning jingle dress origin rose during the time of heightened colonial oppression of Indigenous culture and spirituality.
We did almost shy away or afraid. I remember being afraid of them taking away the power or whatever. And because there was also Metewin ceremonies, and that one, I know that one for sure was lost for years. It's just finally coming back.
For many decades, powwows and dancing were banned under the Indian Act from 1876. Over time, from protests, including from Indigenous veterans, the federal government made amendments to the Indian Act, but it wasn't until 1951 that the ban on cultural ceremonies was removed.
So it's so much bigger than just Sami brand.
For many, the assembly is preparation for December 3rd's United Nations Climate COP28 being held in Dubai, a priority to listen to the voices across the Arctic, living the climate crisis and the innovation and solutions found within. Next year's Arctic Circle Assembly is October 17th to 19th. Karli Zschogner, APTN National News, Reykjavik, Iceland.
Other people bring you down when you're trying to do new things, like different sports that you're trying to get better at. Just cancel them out of your thoughts and do your best at what you're doing.
Volleyball tournaments start in Halifax on July 17th. Karli Zschogner, APTN National News, Aklavik.